My name is Abigail Harper, and I'm 82 years old. Now I sit here in this old quilted rocker on my porch in Willow Creek, Georgia, watching the fireflies dance like lost souls in the twilight. The crickets are chirping their endless song, and it takes me back, way back to when life felt like a promise instead of a puzzle wrapped in pain. I reckon it's time to share my story, not for sympathy, mind you. I've carried enough of that like a heavy quilt in July, but because some tales got to be told before they fade into the dirt with you, this one's about love gone sour, secrets buried deeper than roots, and the kind of strength you don't know you have until the world tries to break you. Pull up a chair, darling, and let me take you there. It all started in the summer of '68 when I was just 22, fresh out of community college with dreams bigger than the sky over the peach orchards. Willow Creek was a sleepy town back then, the kind where everybody knew your business before you did, and the air smelled like sweet tea and fresh cut grass. I worked at the local diner slinging plates of fried chicken and collars to truckers passing through on Route 17. That's where I met him, Jack Harlan. He rolled in one muggy afternoon in a shiny Ford pickup, dust kicking up behind him like he was chasing trouble, tall, broad-shouldered with eyes the color of storm clouds and a smile that could melt butter. He ordered the special and tipped me double, saying, "Miss Abigail, you got the prettiest hands in Georgia for pouring coffee." I laughed it off, but something in his voice stuck with me, warm like bourbon on a cold night. We started dating quick picnics by the creek drives to the drive-in theater in Savannah where we'd watch Elvis movies and share stolen kisses under the stars. Jack was 35, a widower who'd lost his first wife to some illness nobody talked about. He owned the lumber mill on the edge of town, provided jobs for half the menfolk, and folks said he was going places. Abigail, he'd say, holding my hand as we walked the mill's dirt paths, "You're the light I've been waiting for." I believed him. Lord, how I believed him. My folks were thrilled. Mama baked pies for weeks, and Daddy shook Jack's hand like he'd won the lottery, but looking back, there were signs, little cracks in the foundation, like the way Jack's jaw tightened when I mentioned my old high school beau, or how he lingered too long over the newspaper stories about missing girls from nearby towns. I chalked it up to him being protective. A man who'd seen loss, what a fool I was. By fall, he proposed under the willow tree by the creek, the one that gave our town its name. The ring was simple gold with a tiny sapphire, and he got down on one knee saying, "Marry me, Abby, and we'll build a life sweeter than honeysuckle wine." I said yes without a second thought, my heart fluttered like a bird in a cage. The wedding was set for December, small, but proper at the First Baptist Church. Preparations flew by in a whirl of lace and invitations. I picked out my dress, a soft white chiffon number with lace sleeves fitted just right at the seamstress in town. Trying it on, I twirled in front of the mirror, feeling like a queen. But as the days ticked down, doubts started creeping in like fog off the river. It was late October when I first noticed Jack changing. He'd come home from the mill later and later, smelling of whiskey and sawdust, his eyes darting like he was hiding something. One night after a church social, I found a woman's scarf in his truck, red silk, not mine. "Whose is this?" I asked, holding it up in our kitchen, the bulb swinging overhead, casting shadows. He snatched it quick, stuffing it in his pocket. "Just a gift from a client in Atlanta, nothing to fret over." His voice was smooth, but his grip on my arm lingered too tight. I let it go, telling myself it was wedding stress. But deep down a whisper started, something ain't right. The real unraveling came 2 weeks before the wedding. I was at Jack's place, a big old farmhouse on mill property with wraparound porch and fields stretching out forever. He was away on business, so I decided to surprise him by tidying up, dusting his study. I knocked over a stack of papers from the desk. They scattered like leaves in wind, and that's when I saw it, a ledger, leather-bound with entries in Jack's neat handwriting, names of women, dozens of them next to dates, dollar amounts, and places like Macon, Augusta, even up to Charlotte, delivery complete, one said. High value, keep quiet. My stomach twisted like I swallowed glass. At the bottom, scribbled in pencil, "Abby, potential asset, naive local ties, minimal." Asset, I flipped pages, heart pounding louder than the old grandfather clock in the hall. Photos tucked in, women young like me, smiling in snapshots that looked forced, notes, responsive to charm, sold to Harlan Contact in Savannah. It hit me then, slow and sick. Jack wasn't just a lumberman. He was running something dark, using his mill trucks to move more than would human cargo girls, lured with promises, then vanished into his network. And me, I was next on the list, married into his web before I could blink. I slammed the ledger shut, hands shaking, and ran to the bathroom, having up my lunch. How could I have been so blind? Jack, the man I loved, was a monster, hidden behind Sunday sermons and sweet talk. I thought of running, packing a bag, hitching to my parents, telling the sheriff. But fear glued me. Willow Creek was small. Jack owned half of it. Who'd believe the bride to be over the town benefactor? And those girls in the photos, their eyes haunted me, pleading. I had to be smart, wait for proof for a way out. That didn't end with me disappearing too. That night, Jack came home early, catching me pale-faced at the kitchen table. What's eating you, darling? He asked, pouring himself bourbon. I forced a smile, saying, just nerves, wedding's coming fast. He pulled me close, his breath hot on my neck. Nothing to worry about, I'll take care of you forever. His hands roamed possessive, and I swallowed bile, playing the part. But as he slept, I lay awake plotting. I'd seen a side door to the mill's storage shed unlocked sometimes, maybe evidence there, something to take to authorities outside town. The days blurred into a nightmare haze. I went through motions, fitting my dress, which now hung loose from nerves, eating my appetite. Mama noticed fussing over me at the house. You look peaked. I be sure. Everything's all right. I nodded, hugging her tight, breathing in her rosewater scent, the same that comforted me through childhood fevers. If only I could spill it all. Instead, I whispered, Jack's good to me. Mama, real good. Lies tasted bitter, but truth could have killed us both. Wedding morning dawned crisp and cold, December light filtering through frost-laced windows. I stood in my childhood room, staring at the mirror. The dress fit wrong, now loose at the waist, tight across shoulders, tense from secrets. My reflection was a stranger, eyes, hollow lips pressed thin. Downstairs, kin buzzed, cousins pinning my veil, daddy polishing his shoes. The church filled with townsfolk, poinsettias decking the pews, organ, humming Ave Maria. Jack waited at the altar in his charcoal suit, silver cufflinks glinting, looking every bit the groom. But I saw the wolf now hidden in sheep's wool. Walking down the aisle on Daddy's arm, each step echoed like a chain clinking. The preacher's words boomed. Who gives this woman? Daddy's voice cracked. Her mother and I do. I scanned faces, friends, smiling oblivious. When he asked for objections, silence hung thick as chimney smoke. I half hoped someone speak, my best friend Lila, maybe, who teased me about Jack being too old. But no, do you, Abigail Marie Turner, take Jack Harlan to be your wedded husband? The words stuck thorns in my throat, eyes on me, flashbulbs. Popping from the local paper, I thought of the ledger. Those girls' faces run, a voice screamed inside, but fear won I do. I murmured, sealing my fate. Jack's kiss was firm, claiming, tasting of mint to hide the liquor. Applause erupted, rice tossing like confetti in a storm. At the reception in the church hall, he danced me round, whistling Mrs. Harlan, now all mine. His grip bruised, subtle like a warning. I smiled for cameras, cutting the groom's cake vanilla with pecan frosting. His hand guiding mine, too hard on the knife. Smile bigger, I be. This is our day. Inside, I was screaming. As night fell, we drove to the farmhouse and his truck stars wheeling overhead. I glanced back at Willow Creek, shrinking lights fading like dying embers. Jack hummed Your Cheating Heart, thumb tracing my ring. Happy darling, over the moon, I lied staring at passing pines. But in my core, a spark ignited. I'd play wife, gather proof, escape this trap. Little did I know freedom's price would carve scars deeper than Georgia clay. The farmhouse loomed dark against the hills, white clapboard glowing ghostly in moonlight. Jack carried me over the threshold, romantic gesture. He called it, but his arms felt like irons. Inside, the air was stale, furnished, heavy, with his late wife's touches, lace curtains, floral settee. You're home now, he said, setting me down. The housekeeper, Mrs. Greeley, an older widow with pinned-up gray hair and eyes like chipped flint, nodded from the kitchen. Even Mr. and Mrs. Harlan's suppers waiting. Her voice was flat, no warmth for the new bride. We ate in silence, mostly ham biscuits, greens. Jack talking mill business, me nodding. After he led me upstairs to the master bedroom, four-poster bed draped in mosquito net, and get comfortable, I'll be tomorrow's a new chapter. He kissed me rough, expecting a wife's duty. I endured mine elsewhere, planning my first move to the mill. Sleep came fitful, his snores rattling like chains. Morning brought coffee strong as Tar Jack was up early tying his tie. Gotta head to the mill, darling, stay put, settling. Greeley's got the run of things. He pecked my cheek, leaving a cologne whiff, sandalwood, and sin alone. I explored kitchen, spotless parlor, stiff study locked, now ledger safe inside. No doubt, Greeley watched me close, saying, Mr. Harlan likes order, don't go poking where you shouldn't. Warning clear as day. By noon, curiosity burned hotter than the stove. Jack be at the mill till dusk time to snoop. I slipped out back, crossing the yard to the storage sheds, big barns hiding behind pines. The main one's door creaked open, no lock inside, sawdust piled high, lumber stacked neat. But deeper past the planks, a side room crates marked Fragile Atlanta, not wood hard hammering. I pried one inside, not goods, but a hidden compartment closed. Women's dresses folded tight with notes pinned, size 6 for Charlotte pickup, another crate jewelry, cheap rings like the ones girls in town wore, and photos more faces addresses scrawled Jack's operation run from under our noses. Panic surged, I bolted hiding the evidence under my apron. Back at the house, Greeley eyed me suspicious. Out for a walk, ma'am. Just clearing my head. I lied that night. Jack returned late, mud on boots. Good day. I asked servant Stu. Busy, got a shipment coming in. His eyes scanned me like he sensed shifting winds. Bedtime he was gentler, but I felt the cage tightening. Weeks passed in disarray. I'd sneak to the sheds when he was gone, stealing scraps, a map of routes, names like Lila's sister from Macon acquired last spring. Lila, my friend, had mentioned her sister vanishing. Jack prayed, local using charm to lure Mill for cover. I wrote letters in secret to my cousin in Savannah, a lawyer, but burned them fearing interception. Isolation gnawed, no phone in my name, Greeley reporting every move. One evening in January, snow dusting the fields rare, like I met her out back tending the herb patch for calm. A girl appeared, mid-20s, auburn hair, faded dress. She knelt weeding, humming a hymn low. Who are you? I whispered, kneeling too. She startled, green eyes wide. Rose, help with gardens, ma'am? Please don't tell Mr. Harlan. Her voice trembled, accent from upstate New York. Maybe scars peeked from her cuff, thin lines like restraints. We talked cautious about plants, me shouting tea from the kitchen. How long you been here? 6 months, came for work at the mill, but she trailed glancing at the house. He keeps us close for business. My blood chilled, she knew the sheds. She nodded, girls like me promised jobs, then trapped soul north, sometimes worse. Tears welled, I'm salving what I can, a contact in Atlanta, a reporter sniffing around Harlan types. Rose became ally. We'd meet at dawn, her shouting stories, girls before her beaten quiet, shipped off. You're different, Mrs. Harlan married and not lured. You should get word out. She slipped me a note. Contact Elias Grant, Atlanta Journal Missing Girls Ring. Hope flickered, maybe expose Jack without running blind. But Jack grew watchful, dinners tense, his questions prodding what you do all day. I be read and cooking lies. Stacked one night after too much bourbon, he grabbed my wrist hard. Don't think I don't know you're snooping. Stay in line or join the others. Bruise bloomed purple next day. I hit it with sleeves, but resolve hardened. Spring thawed the ground, but not my trap. Rose vanished one morning, crate empty in the shed. Greeley saying she left for family. Lie. I found her scarf, blood speck, fury, boiled Jack, moved her, punishing our talks. Alone again, I pushed Boulder, copied the ledger at night by candle, hid pages and floorboards, plotted escape, steal the truck, drive to Atlanta, find Elias. Climax brewed in May dogwoods, blooming, mocking my wilt. Jack hosted business associates, 3 men from out-of-town suits, crisp eyes, shifty dinner in the parlor, roast beef candlelight flickering. They talked low shipments, fresh stock. I served ears straining. One fat with cigar-leered, pretty wife Jack, she for trade. Jack laughed, mine for now, but trainable. After in the study voices rose, I eavesdropped from hall. That reporter's close shut it down. Panic Elias was coming. Jack planned a big move, clear. The sheds vanished, girls, me included. Abby goes with quiet light. My blood iced tonight, endgame. Storm hit fierce thunder, crashing rain lashing. I slipped to the study door, pushing ajar. Jack and men huddled over maps. Cops will raid soon, burn evidence. Lightning flashed, illuminat and faces twisted. I gasped soft. They spun, who's there? Jack barked. I stepped in fading calm, me heard enough. Silence deadly, I'll be out, storm's bad. His voice smooth, but eyes wolfish. No, I know about the girls, the ledger, you're done, Jack. The fat one chuckled, feisty ship her first. They lunged. I dodged, grabbing poker from hearth, swung wild, cracking cigar man's knee. Chaos erupted, chairs, toppling curses flying. Jack pinned me, breath hot. Stupid girl, you'll fetch good price. But outside lights pierced, rain headlamps, sirens wailing. Elias come through my hidden letter, reached doors, burst sheriff's men, federal badges, flashing, Harlan hands up, gunshots cracked. Jack shoved me, divin for desk drawer, his pistol. I rolled free as bullets flew. An agent tackled him, the others cuffed rain. Poured an open door, mixing with blood on floor. Elias tall, bespectacled, rushed me. Abigail, cousin Ruth's girl, we got your tip raids all over. I sobbed, collapsing, rose the girls, some saved searching now. Dawn broke, great farmhouse swarmed. Jack hauled away, snarling curses. Sheds yielded horrors, hidden rooms changed, more ledgers. 20 girls freed rose, among them bruised, but brief in trials came swift. Jack and cronies convicted life sentences. Willow Creek reeled hero, now I was survivor. Freedom ain't clean, divorce granted quiet. I left town, changing names, starting fresh in Florida therapy, peeled layers, trust shattered, nights haunted by whispers. Yet I rebuilt, taught school, married kind, later had kids who knew my strength, not scars. Rose visited once, we hugged under sun sisters in survival. Now at 82, rocking on this porch, I see it clear, pain forges steel. If you're hurting, darling, hold on, light comes slow, but sure, my story's proof, even in darkest creek, willows bend, don't break. What became of the lost girls? How'd I find love again? If this touched you, subscribe for part 2, where redemption blooms. Comment your thoughts, where you're watching from. God bless and stay strong.